Welcome back to the All That Podcast. It's episode 56. Unfortunately, my co-host is not with me today because she is in recovery from her birthday weekend because she turned up a little too much. So I'm holding down the fort today. I have my friend Langston. He'll be my guest today. We'll be talking about an Instagram series that he did that I thought was really great and needs to be discussed. But first, I had to block out this whole segment for Beyonce. And you guys know this. If you know me, if you listen to me, if you know anything about Kyrie, you know that I am a card-holding member of the Beehive. And so there'll be no positive news today. There'll be no hot topics. It'll just be me talking about Queen Bee and the Black is King film that dropped on Disney Plus Thursday night. Well, Friday morning technically, but it dropped at 2 a.m. And of course, I stayed up to watch it. And just wow. Like, let's backtrack a little bit. Like, who has handled celebrity as well as Beyonce has? Like, no scandals outside of Solange, beating up Jay-Z in the elevator. But other than that, no scandals, just masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece. Came into the game in 97, it's 2020, and she's still at the top of her game. And, Beyonce is not even an artist at this point. She's an experience. Everything she does is an experience, from Lemonade to Beachella to now Black is King. And let me tell you, Black is King is a masterpiece. And I hate people who see something one time or, listen to an album one time through and call it a classic, because I'm like, there's no way that you had time to sit with that and come up with that conclusion. But I will say that this is a masterpiece. And it is something that I think everybody needs to see. The number one thing I love about Black is King is that it gave a different portrayal of Africa than we are used to seeing. The media always portrays Africa as this place where, there's mosquitoes flying on kids' faces. There's nothing but poverty. You hear people going to missionary trips, et cetera, et cetera. And that is the image we have of that. But this film told a totally different story of what Africa is and what it could be. And it was just beautiful. The shots, the outfits, everything. Like, I don't know how much her budget was, but had to be limitless because, usually they say the longer you go between cuts is, you can tell how the budget. When I say these are the cuts, like, back to back to back, and the wardrobe itself had to cost millions and millions of dollars. And just the symbology of it, I'm gonna try not to give too much away for people who haven't seen it yet, but basically, so we all know, okay, the remake of Lion King came out last year, I believe. Last summer. And Beyonce dropped the soundtrack to it. It was called The Gift. And had all these, like, interludes from The Lion King and all this. So, us fans were thinking, okay, this is a cool album or whatever. It's nice that she, used African artists on it, et cetera, et cetera. But we had no idea that what would come next is Black is King. Like, she had been working this for I don't know how long. I would love to just be in one of her meetings because, like, she was like, hey, Disney, like, okay, I'm going to be Nala in Lion King. Then I'm going to do the soundtrack, and then y'all going to let me do a whole film based off of The Lion King. And it's crazy. This is like a human version of The Lion King. And I don't even know, like, I'm just overwhelmed on where to start with this film. I can say this. I think Brown Skin Girl, okay? She has a song called Brown Skin Girl on the album, and the video was amazing. I've heard personally, and I've read, like, or women, women of color, whether Asian, African, whatever, any dark skinned girl felt some type of connection to that song and walked away very emotional from watching that. My mom texted me, I cried when I watched that. It was beautiful. I had one of my good friends' mom put on Facebook, like, I cried. It was such a beautiful portrayal of us. And that's why I respect Beyonce so much, because she has totally neglected what you're supposed to be, quote unquote, as an artist, as far as chasing the charts, chasing number one songs, number one albums. Think she got to a place probably after the self-titled album, where she was like, okay, like, I'm done with that. Like, I put in my work, it's even so she hasn't done interviews in I don't know how long. And she has like total control of her artistry and her brand. And I think after self-titled, she was like, okay, I did all that industry stuff. Now it's time to focus on the messages that I want to get out. So we saw that with Lemonade and how she told this story, really from Black femininity is where that, the basis of that story came from. And then we saw it with Beachella. When, Coachella is this really traditionally this very, very like white space, and she turned it and, made it, celebrate HBCUs and, all our heritage. And now you come to Black is King and it's like celebrating Africa. And then like, I really, really respect Beyonce for doing that, because she could easily be chasing number one songs, because I was telling my friend earlier, I was like, if you think about it, she has kind of alienated a segment of her fan base, because her work for the past 3 years or so has been directly, focused on African American stories, and she would be making way more money if she was making pop songs or doing this or doing that. And I don't understand. Let me look directly into the camera. I don't understand how you people can find a way to hate on this woman. I think Beyonce and LeBron James are the two people who get the most unwarranted hate for no reason, and they are probably the most unproblematic superstars that we have. Okay, Beyonce literally makes great art, uplifts her people and women of all colors in the process, and goes home. She's not Kanye West and saying problematic things about or uninformed things for sure about politics or history. She's not, a celebrity that you see getting arrested all the time. She's not a celebrity. She's none of that. She literally makes great art and goes home. So I have a hard time seeing how anybody can find time in their day to hate on Beyonce. And it was so beautiful, Black is King, and that she collaborated with all these African filmmakers, all these African artists, and it was just beautiful because, we as a people, especially African American people in America, we don't know where home is. And there's a song in the film that says "Find Your Way Back." And, and we're kind of like, find your way back to where? Because we don't know. So to see, kind of like our lost heritage, or, to see that and see, okay, man, this is where I come from. These are my people. Because we kind of have like a lost identity in that way, because we don't know. Like, technically, I'm from Port Arthur, Texas, but, my lineage goes where? I don't even know where my lineage goes outside, the United States of America. So I think this is her greatest achievement to date. And that's a big statement because she has achieved a lot. But I think this will sit at, at the top of Beyonce's achievements. I really do. And I try not to give too much away because I want people to watch it still and, get your own interpretation of things. I'm still dissecting things from it. There's a lot of things to break down. It's very nuanced film, very code written film. It's kind of like, when Jordan Peele comes out with a film, there's all these think pieces of like, oh, this is what it meant, or you have to try to figure out. It's like an Easter egg hunt. And this film is the same way. It's a lot of things to unpack, but the general thing that you will get out of this is that we are beautiful. We have a rich heritage. You know, we have a great heritage. There's one video in particular that I thought was very important. So just like I alluded to earlier, right, about the media's portrayal of Africa as this place that needs help and 6 children, all that we see on TV. The video for Move Forever. So this film is still based off the Lion King. So Simba, you know, gets lost, and he's lost, and he finds somewhere to rest, right? And he takes a nap, and he's daydreaming. And in this daydream, then you see Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they're in this mansion. And then, you know, there's like, they have a butler like brushing their teeth for them, you know, violins waking them up, kind of like Coming to America in a way. You remember that opening scene? And it's like, wow. And it's like the imagery in that is like, okay, we come from this. Like, it's not poverty, because you would think that, you know, based off of what we know, because it's not taught to us. So it's like, man, we can be rich. And I thought that was very powerful to show in that film, and have the kid daydreaming, like, I can be that, I can be that, I can be that, was a very powerful statement to me. Like I said, there's a lot more to unpack. I'm sure I will come back to this as soon as I, you know, get some more, what's the word I'm looking for? Get some more clues, or find out more about, you know, what's going on, because it is a very, very, very deep film, and I want her to continue to make it. She doesn't necessarily have to do visual albums, but I think she's found her groove in filmmaking from Lemonade, because this makes Lemonade look like, you know, and Lemonade won all kind of awards and with film, like Peabody Award and all that, and this makes Lemonade look like, you know, the little sister. So if you haven't already, go check out Black is King. It is necessary. It is really, really, really a masterpiece. And shout out to Beyonce for always taking her art seriously. That's another thing Beyonce does, before I get off of this. She makes every other artist look like they're not even trying. And, you know, and that is a testament to something that we can all take. It's like hard work. Like, this woman doesn't have to do anything anymore. She's filthy rich. You know, she doesn't have to take her art as seriously as she does if she doesn't want to, but she still does. And she's still outworking these new artists. She's still outworking current artists. And yeah, she just makes it like, really, like, it makes you like be glad to be a fan of her, because, you know, you look at these other artists and it's the same recycled stuff, you know, the same videos, the same blah blah blah, but she always comes with something new and something fresh, and that's why we in the Beehive appreciate Beyonce. So go check out Black is King. Don't hit me up for my Disney Plus information. But find a way to go watch that, because it's really good. All right.